Hi, my name is Odosa. Nice to meet you. I'm a grade 9 student at Upper Canada College. So I've been really excited about a new program that I joined called TKS, or the Knowledge Society. And it's an entrepreneur program that exposes you to the next generation technologies that are going to change the world for the better. And this week our topic that we talked about was BMIs, or brain-machine interface. And that really struck me as something that could really change the future, because if some of the examples that the instructors gave were really cool. One of them, for example, was how they were able to put a brain chip on a monkey, a paralyzed monkey that couldn't move, and from reading the brain patterns, they were able to come up with a pattern, and 3 weeks later, they were able to get the paralyzed monkey to be able to move like normal again. And they were able to, a different group was experimenting with rats, and they were experimenting with one rat in particular that seemed to be doing very well, and they put a brain chip on that rat, and they made it go through an obstacle course. Now, the obstacle course wasn't just your regular rat obstacle course, like going through a maze and getting cheese. It was going through a maze, then typing in a certain pattern on a keyboard, then running in a certain pattern and coming back, typing the same pattern, then going through the maze again. It was quite a difficult challenge, and it took the rat about 3 weeks to be able to do it well. Now, once it was able to do that, the same group used the internet and sent the information that the rat got from the brain chip to a completely different rat across the world in Australia. The different rat that the information got sent to was able to do it in one try compared to the 3 weeks that the other rat took, which was really cool. And they told us about many different companies that are working with BMIs right now. One of them was called Neuralink, which is working with genetic disorders. Not genetic disorders. I think brain disorders. Then one of them that really interested me was called Neurable, which was one that was working with VR and AR, which is virtual and augmented reality. And that really stuck me because I'm interested in AR and VR, something that really makes me excited. So so far TKS has been really cool. I've been there for 4 weeks now, which is 4 courses. Each course is 3 weeks long. 3 hours long. Our first course was about how the food industry is going to be disrupted by a new technology that could possibly possibly stop the food crisis that's going on, where over 1% of the world is malnourished, which is quite insane. But with this new technology, you could probably change that. Well, not one technology, but like different things. One of them was vertical farming. Then one of them was, I forgot what the actual name for the thing was, but the product was called Soylent. Then one of them was something called Impossible Foods that you might have heard of. So you can check those 3 on YouTube. They're actually really cool. Then our next topic was about VR and about how it can be used for different learning opportunities, etc. And one of my favorite companies that's working on it, and one of my favorite products, is called the Microsoft HoloLens, which is basically a computer, but inside glasses, like the one that I'm wearing now. It's not bulky, it's very light, and you can do so much with it. I actually wrote a LinkedIn article about both the topics, about the food crisis and about VR and AR. So if you go to my LinkedIn page, you can check that out. Just Odosa Obasuyi, and it'll say student at Upper Canada College. And after that, we had an actual hackathon, and the hackathon was my first one, so it wasn't probably my best experience, but it was fun. Our problem was to come up with a product that you would want in the future, and our first product was an app where you can trade different products, and the instructor came over and said that we can be doing like something way better than that, and like we can think a lot better. So we put our heads together and we went from that product to a potential cure to a type of cancer called MI. That's a heart cancer that comes with stroke. Basically what our product did was that one of the group members in our group was researching about a recent breakthrough that was a particle that could heat up to a certain temperature, 45 or 46 degrees, and then immediately after a certain amount of time go down. And we were able to think, and we came up with this. What if you could have a nanoparticle that you could inject in your heart, and it could go to where the tumor is in your heart, and you can inject, you can see through a screen, and once you find where the tumor is, you can release the particles, and you can heat up the tumor without damaging any of the tissues nearby. So we checked what the temperature had to be to melt the tumor, and we found that the particle would work because you'd have to have one particle to heat up to 45 or 46 degrees because the minimum needed was 43.6 degrees. So we found that our product would actually work to be an actual product. So that was what we came up with. Then this week, recently, we had the talk about BMIs. So I really like the TKS program so far. I'd really recommend it if you want to be a very successful person in the future, but having to do with new technologies. So, yeah, that's all I got to say.